Hi traders, welcome to the week ahead. GJ here. There's not a lot on offer again this week. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but a lot of the pairs are just in real flat ranges or consolidation things. Now, eventually they're going to break out of those. So I'm just concentrating on those levels. And when they break out, I will then take a trade. But we'll zap through the pairs and have a look at it. First of all, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. The information in this video is for educational purposes only. We don't give investment advice because we're not financial advisors. By watching this video, you accept full responsibility for your actions, your trades, your profit and loss results, and agree not to hold the distributors of this video series liable for any information shared. With that out of the way, let's get going. I just wanted to take a quick look at the economic calendar. It's pretty light this week. It starts off with a bit of Bank of Japan, but it doesn't usually move the market. They're just going to keep doing what they're doing. We've got US consumer confidence. I'm not expecting too much fireworks from that. I have a little bit of interest here and to see what the inflation readings for Australia are going to be quarter on quarter. And again, we've got advanced GDP quarter on quarter for the states. That could be interesting. You've got the financial statement from the federal and the federal funds rate. There's predicted to be no change there. I mean, if something took place here, like they went into negative, you'd get some fireworks in the currency market. So just keep an eye on that. Not expecting too much around Chinese manufacturing PMI. Later in the week, I am interested in monetary policy statement coming out of the Euro sector, and I particularly want to listen to the press conference. That's always very interesting to get a feel of where Mrs. Lagarde is perhaps thinking in terms of going forward for the European Union. You've got your unemployment claims, and that's going to be pretty high for the States. But other than that, it's pretty light. I think non-farm payrolls next week, but that's the economic calendar. So it's worth keeping an eye on it and making note of what's happening and what's going down. Right, let's get into the pairs. AUD CAD. Like I've said, the pairs are just ranging, and the Aussie CAD is topped out again here at this level. If we go have a look at the weekly, you can see that this was a pretty strong level, and here we have arrived at it again. It wasn't able to break out of this level before and move up, so be careful with it. I can't see it getting up. If you get a breakout here, you're only looking at possibly a retest of this level in here. Not a lot of pips. It's 140 pips. If you can capture it, it'd be worth it. But I'm more interested to see if this is going to begin to range again in this range. I have alarms set. Aussie Swiss, it's made its move up. And again, we're sitting at this key level. And we've been here before here, and we break lower, obviously. So this point is a key inflection point, and it's a place where price has reacted in the past. I'd love to see this pair get up and get running, but I can't see that happening anytime soon. And so a lot of it is just patience. Aussie yen, in the past has been renowned as a very good carry trade, but it's not. We're not in normal economic conditions right now, and we're just seeing a lot of sideways movement. And I would be very, very surprised to see the Aussie begin to strengthen significantly, get above this level and make a significant move up. So again, it's just wait and see how all of this pans out. Aussie New Zealand back at key levels again after this move up. This range here is interesting. I think from memory, it's again about 145, 150 pips, and there's a lot of these kind of consolidation ranges around about that level. And for me, they're too small. This is where traders get beaten up. So I just stayed right out of it. I'm waiting for the break above. If this trickles back down below, I would consider going south of it, break this level too. Aussie USD, this wonderful move up, and now we've had nothing for sideways movement for the last couple of weeks. And I just can't. This is a significant level. Now, if it could get above this and move on up, that would be something worth considering, and I definitely would consider it. But until it does, I'm not trading this north until I get a close above here. This could just end up going sideways. Financially, the markets, the economies and stuff, they're not in good shape, and it's going to be very, very hard to predict just where to from here. And so you need to be careful. The best advice or encouragement I can give you is to watch these levels and trade your technicals and protect your capital. Don't be frightened of trading, but be sensible in your approach. CAD Swiss, I hope that once we got up here it would break, but of course it didn't, and we've tested this 3 or 4 times up in here, and this is a key level, and until the CAD gets up above here and things begin to turn around, I don't think we're going to get a significant move up. We're just dreaming, being hopeful. CAD, JPY, very similar. We're range bound again, and while this here was a bigger range from here to here, it looks like now that we're narrowed down to that 150 pip range again. Euro AUD, this is one pair that I'm interested in. I see today that the euro is showing signs of strength today so far since the market opened, and I'm keeping an eye on that. I can't see mid to long term the euro actually making any bull runs. I think the euro sector is in trouble, and I'm expecting the euro to perhaps stay about where it is or get weaker. So I am watching this, and I'm just going to pop an alarm in here as we speak, because if we get a break below this, I'm very interested in trading this below here. I think a break below here could be interesting. So that is one pair that I'm watching very closely. The other one is the pound AUD as well. Euro CAD, again, same sort of stuff. Looks like it's going to lock into ranging in here. You could go up there. That could be more accurate. Again, it's subjective, whichever way you like, but to me, I see a small range in here, and this pair has broken out above it and come back in it, and below it and come back in it. So there's no good trade setups on that. Euro Swissy looks as if it might be bottoming out, and I'm certainly very interested in trying to find a bottom in this pair. But where is it? So again, it's just being patient. I've got my alarm set, and if I get a good bullish formation here and the setup, and I get across my baseline, which is here, I would consider getting into a trade. Euro pound, we came off the highs, and this has been a nice little trade down into here. Again, this is a key level. I'd love to be able to take a break, but you know, we've not only got coronavirus affecting this pair, but we're still in negotiations with the exit for Brexit, and so anything can happen. So be very careful. Break below here, I would be interested in tempting. I've taken a couple of temps below this level in the past, and it hasn't really gone anywhere. So just make sure your risk reward isn't too big, and you protect your capital that you have on your trading platform. Euro JPY. Again, a similar story. We'll get back to the daily chart. It's a bit messy, this one. Let me just have a look at the bigger picture. Yeah, this is very much a key level in here. And the big question, of course, is this going to be a bottom? And again, there's no trade, so we just have to be patient and see what happens. Euro NZ, this is another one that I'm watching. If we get a break below here, I'm definitely going to try it. Very similar to the Euro AUD. So the idea will be to look for a close and a bearish kind of candle formation, and then a very small risk reward ratio, and we'll see how it goes. Euro USD, again 108 is a very key level, and a break below here would open up 107. There's no question about that. But again, you just have to be patient and wait. And you can see that, you know, we've had a couple of breaks here, but it didn't go anywhere. We had another break here, didn't go anywhere. This was a promising break, but it came back up in above 108. So this could be a bottom that is being established, and we'll have to wait and see. Any weakness in the US dollar index or the US dollar could see a move up. And the other thing that I'd do here is I'd just run a trend line through, and I'd look for a break of the trend line and a bullish signal off the bottom. Pound AUD, I mentioned that. I'm looking for a break below here. I've actually got a couple of pending orders sitting in here. I just think that this looks really, really bullish. Bearish. And so I'm waiting to see what happens to that end. And I mean, this could just range. It could just range for days, weeks. So again, immediately, no trade. The other pound pairs are very similar. Locked in ranges here. There's a bigger range, but I'm looking, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we stuck in around about here and just go sideways. And until they break out of these ranges, I don't think there's going to be any big moves. A trade off the bottom here, that's over 200 pips. That could be worth it. That's nearly 300 pips. So even if you had got in off a smaller time frame off this bottom, it's not really gone anywhere. And here's a key inflection point of where prices reacted in the past. So it looks as if it's going to be struggling to get through here. Pound Swissy, again, excuse me, locked in this range. I would be interested in a trade off the bottom here, but I'm not expecting any great moves on this pair at the moment. Just the current market conditions, unpredictable, and with Brexit as well as the coronavirus around the pound, anything can happen. So if this breaks lower, I have no hesitation in taking some trades to go north off the bottom in here. I think that would be good buy zone in here. Pound JPY, you know, just mucking about. Last week it's just gone sideways, and we've really got to break out of these levels to have anything significant happen, either bullish or bearish. Pound New Zealand at key inflection point right here. I've got an alarm set. If I get a close below this level, I will be taking a trade sell. Pound USD. Again, it's been locked in a range for three or so weeks now. I'm having some good little moves at the Frankfurt Open on this pair, getting a few pips, nickels and dimes. It's my main source of income at the moment. And I just have to wait. You know, the US dollar would have to weaken significantly to break out above here and move up. But right now, it's just range bound like every other pair. New Zealand Swissy, again, this is a good carry trade, but at the moment, in these present conditions, I don't see anything happening significantly on this pair. So it's just a matter of having your levels in and making sure that you've got your alarms set so that if there's a move above or a move below, you are aware of it and can assess it and evaluate it at that point. So we'll just put the alerts in here. New Zealand CAD, nothing really messy, and you can see that it's range bound. And again, it's just for me, I'm not interested in trading it in this. It's only 120 pips. I'm staying right out of it. I need to have a clear break above this level here or below. New Zealand USD looks like we're just range bound. Now eventually it is going to break out of here. I have alarms to warn me when it gets near these levels, and I'm definitely interested in another move back down. The US dollar would have to fall out of bed to get a significant move back up on this pair. You know, for me, it looks, you know, we're still in this downtrend, and we haven't got a reversal, so just watching that closely. Let's just, gold is locked in this range between 1700 and 1738. Very much aware that the commentators are expecting a massive move on gold. For me, if I get a break again below 1700, I will be stepping in, even if it's only for a short run down. And then when it comes back up through this level, I will then take it north. Silver is a little bit the same. I think a key level is $15. You know, I mean, I love the trade up from here. It was a great trade, but it hasn't had the steam to get up and run further. And so we're just in this range bound here. Earlier, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about looking for a retest, and we've certainly had that all the way back down here to around about $14.60, $14.50 an ounce. So just waiting now. The alarms are set. If it breaks low, I'd love that, because I'd certainly want to buy it off here again. Okay, that's about it. USD CAD is just mucking about in this range here. I had this marked in here as a potential for a bear trade, but it never eventuated. It turned around and shot back up. USD Swissy, it's just going sideways. It's in this range bound thing again through here, and until you get outside of these ranges, I don't think there's very hopeful significant moves on those. USD JPY, we should change that so you can see it better. There we go. Range bound, as you can see, and 107 is a significant level. 108 is a significant level, and we've just had for the last couple of weeks a sideways movement. We'd have to see some real strength in the US dollar for me to be convinced in a good move up. I have alarms set and break below 107, which is just up in here, just around about there, would have me getting in south. I want to take a quick look at the US dollar index. And we'll go to the weekly. You can see that it's sitting up above this key area here. So if we just clear all the stuff off and just purely go to get all that out of the way. So for a long time, that was a very key level in there around about 99, 100. About 99. We got up above there and we came back down. Now we're sitting above this level. And 101. If the US dollar is going to strengthen, it will need to get up above this level to make a move up. So as long, I just think it's more of the same on the US dollar index, but watch this. Because if we get a break below and back into here, and then we start to see it move down, you've got some key levels to watch. Here's one of them here. So if it breaks back down into this area, now once we break below 97, 98, this has the potential to open up and come back down again. And it just depends on, a lot of things. It depends on whether or not the market still views the US dollar as a safe haven, or it's still the #1 currency. It's the reserve currency of the world. So this does have significant consequences on some of the other currency pairs. But in order to get any significant moves on the USD crosses, something's got to give in this area here. It just does in this area here. This is no man's land. And I don't think we're going to see any significant moves on, say, like the Aussie US dollar or the New Zealand US dollar or the USD CAD until we get out of this zone here on the US dollar index. So keep an eye on it. Stay safe out there. Please protect your capital. There are little bits and pieces of trading that you can do, but you've just got to make sure that your risk rewards are low and that you protect your capital, and that if you take a loss, it's small, so that when you do get your wins, they're bigger than your losses. So I'll see you in the chat room, and I'll keep you posted if there's anything interesting that I'm getting into. And please stay safe out there, traders. I hope you and your families are very well and safe. And be patient. Good things come to those who wait. Take care, and we'll see you in the chat room. Cheers.